Today we're going to take Mom fishing at Mayfield Lake.
Yeah.
First fish of the day.
Thank you.
Bring it, just keep it close to me, stop reeling. Yeah, so here we go. So one of the most important things to look at that people will overlook is taking the time to make sure that this guy is locked and engaged. I've actually had this, well, I've heard that if it doesn't get engaged properly, then your whole boat could pop up and then run into the back of your truck. And then I've also heard that if that happens and it gets dented, then you have to put some type of American flag wrap on there so that people don't see the dents in your truck. At least that's what I've heard. So the other thing we want to check, just want to make sure our chains are good, our lights are good. Come down to the back, make sure our straps are locked, everything is in place, and then we can get ourselves on the road. There are chapter links below to go to different sections. We start off a little bit slow, and then at about 7 minutes, we catch quite a few fish. Over a 1 hour period, I did the best with the footage that I could. Thanks for watching. So one of the best pieces of advice I got for backing up a boat was to put my hand on the bottom of the wheel. And then from the bottom of the steering wheel, whichever direction you want the boat to go, that's the direction you push your hand. So once we remove the transom saver, make sure the plug is in, and remove the straps from the side, we'll go up to the front and get all our lines set up so that we don't run into issues when we drop the boat in the water. And these are little bungee lines that I got from a local company in Oregon. Here we just loosen the strap up just enough that the boat can go back a few inches so that it can be easily unhooked when it's floating, but not enough that the boat will fall off of the trailer if for some reason you break or it slips. I've seen people learn that lesson the hard way. And then once we get it back in the water, you see it start to float just a tad. And we can go back there, unhook it from that main strap, and push it out the rest of the way. So today we are going to be targeting trout. Again, we're at Mayfield Lake. This location has had a lot of stocking done just over the last month. We're all set, and we are going to go see if we can catch some fish. So one of my first favorite setups that I like to go with is just a simple jig hook and a really light bobber on top with a worm on it. And that's what we're going to kind of go to first. And it doesn't matter if I'm on a boat or if I'm on a lake. This is going to typically be one of the first ones that I go for, because I like to try to just throw the little jig hook out and a light bobber, something super light when you're going for trout or fish under a pound, so that when they grab it, it provides almost no resistance and just gets pulled underwater so you can get them hooked. I like the jig hook because the presentation's right there. As soon as they grab it, they're almost hooked. You don't have to do a ton of work. And then the other cool part about this type of bobber is you can actually just take this little stopper out and you can adjust your height. So when you're using something like a fish finder and you get an idea of what depth the fish are at, you can target them more specifically. Like with trout, you want to be just a little bit above that zone, so they go for it. If you're fishing in a lake and you don't know where the fish are at because you don't have a fish finder, it gives you the opportunity to kind of adjust the way that you're set up. And what we'll do with that jig hook is we're just going to throw a worm on there. And then we're going to find out if Nene can cast without putting a hook inside of her son-in-law. So we'll find out here real soon. So go ahead and hold that in your right hand. There you go. Yep. Flick it over. Perfect. You want to make sure your worm's out of the water. You might need to stand up. And then just give it a cast where you want it to go. That was good. And then flick the bail over. Check where the line is before you start to reel at the bail. You want to make sure it's on that little ring, and then you just bring it in a little bit. So right now we're not having the greatest luck with the first setup, which was the bobber and the jig head. And the cool thing about that is I'm starting to notice on the finder that we're seeing a lot of the movement down around 20 feet. And we can't go out that long with a bobber on top. So what we did is we just kept the same setup. Those bobbers, I'll show you real quick. Because of the way those bobbers work on just a little pressure fitting and a slit in them that allows them to go on, you can adjust them and you can just pull them off. So that allows us to have a totally different setup now and fish with jig heads down on the line. And so we'll just be out with the line, and what we'll be doing is just bringing it up a little bit and then letting it drop and just trying to kind of play with them a little to see if we can get a bite. I've also seen some other fish jump in. So what we may do, if we still don't see any luck with these, we also can troll. And then when we're trolling, it's a little bit of a different setup. I'll show that. But there's also a good opportunity for some pretty good hits. Not as fun to hook them up trolling because it does kind of the work for you. But we'll see how we do here, and then we might switch that up in a little bit. So we're seeing a little bit of movement, not having the greatest of luck. We're gonna switch to a trolling setup to troll for either trout, and then there's also some landlocked coho and king salmon in this lake as well. So we'll kind of target them with this setup. And what we're going for is and it's speaking fisherman language, but we've got like a little hoochie here on a spinner. And then just about 18 inches up, there's this dodger that goes up, flasher that goes up here. And then just to get it down a little bit to depth, we're gonna go with just a little weight. And we're gonna be dragging that behind the boat at about a mile to a mile and a half. So we're gonna give that a try here in a sec. So you wanna just watch the end, and it should just have that steady kind of vibration to it. And then you'll see when it gets a hit, it'll all of a sudden look very different. There it is. Nice job, Nene. First fish of the day. First fish of the day. Bring it, just keep it close to me. Stop reeling. All right. There we go. It's a rainbow. It's probably a stalker. It's super silver. Oh, I got a fish too. Look at that.
Do I have it the right way, Dustin?
Yep.
Okay.
That's a big fish.
It is? Oh, good.
Good size fish.
Nice.
Woo.
2 for the day.
Pulling this guy is something. He's fighting. Gosh, he's fighting like hell. Bring him towards me a little bit if you can. So this is a perfect example of.
Oh my God, he's beautiful, Dustin.
It's a good size fish. So that we don't end
Oh,
up.
I think I have something on my line, maybe.
You do.
Okay.
Just set that down.
Okay.
Start reeling yours in, Vicky. Heck yeah.
Just don't wore himself out.
Oh, he's not worn out yet. No. Is he in there? Yep, he's in there. All right. Okay. Goodness gracious.
Boy.
And he's off the net. Look at that. I mean, as soon as we netted him, he came unhooked.
Oh.
That's crazy. All right, we got to bonk these fish because they are suffering.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, fish on. Looks like a fish on. Check that one out. Oof. Oh my goodness.
The big one?
Gosh, he's fighting. Holy cow. I'm going to try to bring him your way, Nene.
Okay.
Hey, he's another good sized one.
Oh gosh.
Keep an eye on yours too. Don't forget to look. Oh,
No, mine's
gosh,
fine.
he is.
Oh wow.
He is putting up a fight. Look at this. Boom. All right.
Another fish.
So we're heading for the shore a little bit here. We got to make sure. If you start focusing on the fish, next thing you know, you're about ready to run into the dang shoreline. You gotta make sure you're being careful. Nene, keep an eye on your line. And I'm just gonna get us straight. And I'll get the fish taken care of. I'll get them taken care of. It's all right, I know you wanna work. We don't let Nene work on the boat either. We gotta play captain. Ooh. Got a fish.
Oh, you got a good one, Dustin. Oh, that's a big one, Dustin.
He wants to be on this side.
On your side?
Let me just... Okay, remember you want to get under him, way under him first. Nice, Vicky.
Thank you.
Nice.
Oh, he's a beauty.
Look at that fish. Look at that guy. Nice catch. Good fish, good fish. So far we've been doing pretty good. We are at about 8 fish. I know you caught some of them with us. And so I promised to show you ways that I like to fish, so that we're gonna have Vicky go back out with that jig on a bobber like we did earlier. And then what I'm gonna end up doing is I will be using a sliding sinker, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like, with a worm on a treble hook that's gonna be floating off the bottom. I'm seeing the fish right now at about 10 feet. And so we're in about 12 to 14 feet of water right here. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to float one that's just real tempting that they can go up to, and we're gonna try to float so off the top, and then we're gonna float that other worm right off the bottom and try to see if we can get a strike. And hopefully it's a trout, not like a tiger muskie that weighs 20 pounds, because it's gonna just tear my stuff up. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Give you a quick little look at what it looks like. It's really simple. You got this little bullet weight, and then you just have a little bead for it to run into so it doesn't mess up your swivel, and then you just run your leader, and then you got your hook. And the cool thing about this setup is if you don't want to use worms, like this is a perfect setup for just throwing power bait on, because power bait floats. So you could do that as well. So either one will work. We're gonna go ahead and give that a try because we've got plenty of fish to smoke, and we're gonna try to catch them just a couple different ways here at the end of the day.
Oh, it's a nice one, Dustin.
In here, that is a Pikeminnow. So these are not invasive, but they're controlled, and there's actually a registry where you can register and get $5 a fish for them. I didn't register, so I can't get my $5, but this is the season that people keep them, so we're gonna go ahead and keep this guy too. That way. No, just bring him back towards me. Back up.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Dustin.
Yep.
It's a little
There's
one.
another Pikeminnow.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's what we were seeing. They aren't trout. Here are the trout. Ended up with about 2 pounds, 11 ounces of rainbow trout. Some a little pinker than others. I think the stuff that was freshly stocked has probably got a little bit of a lighter color with it. So we're gonna get into a quick recipe, and then we're gonna smoke them tomorrow because it takes some extra time. But what I would like to also do is, I had Nene with me. People are wondering who the heck is Nene, and so it's my mother-in-law. And it's really just the name that our son gave to her when he was just first starting to talk, and the name stuck. But we were talking on the way home, and I wanted to ask everybody a question, and I would really like their comments on this. She started to compare fishing and golf, and was talking about how they could be like really relaxing, but also frustrating. Talking about how fishing, you can get frustrated with the knots or other things. So I just wanted to ask everyone, fishing or golf? You guys can go ahead and throw a vote, or let me know your thoughts in the comments. The other thing I want to say is there's that whole story of, hey, your worst day at golf is better than your best day at work. I'll be honest with you, golf frustrates the hell out of me, and I'd probably be happier at work. So we're gonna go ahead and kick into this recipe real quick, and it's similar to the one that I used in the Greenwood Lake video, except this time we're gonna let the bath go for overnight, and we're gonna be smoking these fish tomorrow. So they're gonna be like little pieces of candy. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put some sugar in there, thyme, paprika, some soy sauce, a little bit of Frank's Red Hot, salt, garlic, And that's just the minced garlic, like right from you get in the large jar. Good old Costco one. I like that one. And some pepper. And then we're gonna mix it all up. We're gonna go ahead, put it in the bag, and then we're gonna allow the fish to sit in the refrigerator and take a bath all night long. So here we go. Tomorrow, we're gonna pull these out. We rinse them off. You let them sit out for a little while and get that coating on them first. And then we'll get them on the smoker and then find out how they taste. All right, we are coming to you from the backyard, and so there might be a little bit of drive-by noise. We finished smoking the salmon. Kind of brought you along real quick on that one. Didn't want to take up a ton of time, but we are ready to give this stuff a taste test. Go ahead and pick one. Looks good. So I don't take out the rib meat just because filleting out rib meat on trout, typically you're going to butcher too much of the fish and end up without any meat. So I usually leave those on, and they'll peel away pretty easy once you get to a cut like that. And the other thing that's cool is you can peel them away, and you can even just take the meat and you can eat the meat right off of that. So like you've got your bone there, and then like a little piece of trout candy. Really delicious. We're gonna take out this, get another bigger piece here real quick for the camera. So again, a nice big piece, and then you can just slide it right off the ribs. It turned out really good. This stuff smokes up great. You can save it, take the meat, mix it into a salad. Thanks for coming with. We went out to another great lake. And as always, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and all the comments. I've been getting some good comments and ideas from people, and I'll be sharing stuff as they come up. I am going to still be doing a gear video where I just talk about the basic stuff that I bring with me, kind of 10Cs or even Boy Scout essentials, things like that. And got some great stuff back on the concepts and the thoughts behind going out into the field and what to think of and be mindful of. And there were a couple of good suggestions from other folks that I'll be talking about in the gear video as well. So thank you very much. Get outside. It's good for your inside.